Okay, I should be live. I didn't do the upgrade. I just need to get OBS Divergent up and running. It really wants me to upgrade. Okay, so I think Divergent is up and running. Every morning I have to go through this. I think I'm up and running on all. Good morning. Let's get to it. We have a very bearish market. Certainly been priced down. So it will be big ranges today, I can assure you of that. Very big ranges. Accordingly, I'm gonna reduce my stake size a little bit. You need bigger stop losses. So just to give you an idea. The DAX is trading lower by about 400 points, 500 points. DAX is down 500 points. And the FTSE is down about 100 points. So good morning. I hope you're well. I hope that this is both exciting and, without a doubt, challenging environment to trade. do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Please make a note of the brokers that you're trading with today. I want to show you a post that I just received. This is from someone trading with Pepperstone. I get a lot of stick for saying that I'm trading with TD365. People accuse me of all sorts of things, but I want to show you the post that I just posted in Telegram. See, this is exactly the reason why I trade with them, because the spreads are still fixed, even though the markets are extremely volatile. And then I got someone here saying, do you still have fixed spread on indices on TD365? Because I used to have 0.9 in the DAX on Pepperstone, but now it's variable and it floats around a 6-point spread. This is exactly the reason why I trade with who I trade with. It's just economics. So I remember Saxo Bank on a particular volatile US opening had a 36-point spread in the Dow. 36, and I can document it. I took a screenshot of it. So keep an eye on the spread size today, because it will get extremely volatile. It already is. And see how your brokers are screwing you over. If you trade with a 6-point spread in the DAX, that means that the DAX has to go 6 points in your favor before you break even. And then my critics can say whatever the hell they want, but that's an undeniable fact. And I invite any of those critics that have spoken about me anonymously, cowards, anonymously. You don't even give a man an opportunity to respond. Invite them to contact me directly, and then we can have a conversation. I have never posted affiliate links, ever. You can trade with whoever you want to. I do not have affiliate agreements. I trade. You can agree with my trading approach, or you can disagree. But you don't get to lie about me. Stand by here for a risky long position in the FTSE below prior bar low at 8,617. Buying the FTSE now. It is a chance to take, as the DAX is testing the lows. $8,487. Come on. I think I need to replace my mouse. It keeps sticking. So what I've done here is I saw that and it's difficult to buy below prior bar low exactly. The prior bar low is 85. And I tried to get a fill at 85, but I didn't succeed. I got a fill at 87. I suppose I could have used an order. I want to move that stop loss down as soon as I can. I may also entertain the idea of half profits today. But keep an eye on your spreads. Ali is saying, why didn't we buy the first bar positive, first bar negative in the DAX? If you'd studied my material, you would know that there is no such thing as first bar negative in the DAX. That's a FTSE tool. All right, let's take a chance and put stop loss to break even. Oh, that got stopped out for 0. Fucking hell, what do I do? My sterling dollar position is doing really well. My swing trade. Right, so let's look at the school run, an aggressive school run signal on a 5-minute chart. It argues for a long position here in the DAX. I could be tempted. 880, it's already gone 905. My school run long came at 880. It's already trading at 905, so I'm already 20 points behind the curve, so to speak. You have to be fast today. Jakob is saying, what current strategies are you currently trading? I'm trading school run, first bar negative, first bar positive, buy below, prior bar low, that kind of stuff. Dick is saying, when you're up 80 points, why don't you go for exiting half of your position? Dick, if you had been following me, you would know that no matter what I do live people will always come and criticize. So if I take profit at 80 and it goes up another 100, people will say, why didn't you let it run? If I don't take profit and it goes back to 0, they say, why didn't you take profit? So do you understand, Dick, that I'm one of the only people in the world, I think, that is actually showing my account warts and all. And I tell you this from experience, no matter what I do, people will always ask me, why didn't you do this instead? They have the luxury of hindsight. I don't. And by the way, neither have you. So, there you go. Someone is asking, is Divergent muted? Nope. Asan is asking, does the UK market still open on the same time as European markets, like 7 a.m.? You're thinking, what a question to ask me. Why not do your own research? But yes, it does. Arthur is asking a good question. Have you ever looked into mechanical profit taking? I have, but it doesn't suit me. Grumpy Tom is definitely not back. Someone is asking me, how do I trade my big account? I sit here, as I explained yesterday, I have two workstations on the same desk, and I execute one and then the other. I think that's enough for the questions for now. Otherwise, it just takes overhand, and I am actually here to make money, not to entertain questions. I get questions like this all day. I have, since last night, at around midnight Europe, 399 questions. If you don't believe me, here's the proof. And within a second or two, there's a joker who's going to post a message to saying 400, which, granted, I actually do think is kind of funny. Yeah, there it was. Okay, I do actually think it's funny when you do that. It does make me chuckle a little bit. Go, yeah, you cheeky fucker. And the price goes to Shawshank, who says 401. Yeah. Hilarious. I seem to recall that 401, isn't that some kind of expression in America? Is it a pension contribution? Something like that? I think so. Anyway, let's try and remain focused. So my DAX entry at 880 for the aggressive school run, so I quite like that, and then it ran away from me, and now it is 100 points higher. And my FTSE that got stopped out, like I went long at 87. It is now 26 points higher. So the idea was there. Do you see that? And I got stopped out right there. Moved my stop loss, and I take responsibility for it. I'm trying to play it tight on a day like today. I think we as traders thinking, oh my God, this is going to be huge ranges today. There's a lot of money to be made. But in my experience, it is on days like today where traders that think they can approach it like they normally do burn their accounts. So be careful. If I can at all inspire you, just please use caution today. Yeah, of course you're going to feel, oh my God, why didn't I buy the DAX down here when the aggressive school run dictated? But I think the worst thing you can do on a trading day like today, where we know there's going to be volatility and big ranges, is to begin to chase the market. Quite like to be a seller of the FTSE up here around 20 if I get an opportunity, and I'm contemplating a short position in the DAX up here, maybe with a reduced stake size. I sold short the DAX here on a double top above 22,035. I'm currently 30 points in profit. I'm going to move stop loss to break even. I didn't get that opportunity to sell the DAX up here, the FTSE up here at 20. So I'm currently short the DAX. Stop loss is already at break even. I sold a double top on a 30-minute chart. You see that? Usually these things has a tendency to go up and test again. If I'm lucky, I get an opportunity to cover some of my short down here at 82. Otherwise, I'm going to get stopped out for break even. Just keep an eye on 21,983. Maybe as a place to consider partial profit. But so far it does look like a trading range. FTSE is certainly confirming so. FTSE though is giving an opportunity to buy below prior bar low, but it is on a 5-minute chart. And the ranges are a little bit bigger, so be careful if you do that. I'd perhaps rather be a buyer around 90 in the FTSE. I'm going to get stopped out, I'm quite certain, in the DAX, and I'm okay with it. If I can, I do need to have some profits for the eventuality of having to take a full loss. I need something to buffer against the full loss. I had hoped for a runner here. The best that it went was 40 points in my favor, but nothing came of it. I'll show you on a 1-minute chart what it looks like right now. So keep an eye on the FTSE on a 1-minute chart and notice how we're coming back down below, and we're sort of testing this area here. So this could be a place to be a buyer if you fancy a scalp. Personally, I would wait to 8489 because you got a classical piano pattern here. DAX is still. I've zoomed in on a 1-minute chart. I don't trade on a 1-minute chart, but I don't want to show you the price action on a 1-minute chart. And I fully expect to be stopped out for nothing here. And if I don't, that's just a big old bonus. Thank you very much. There we go. Stopped out. Okay, so we have a school run, which I'm really. I imagine that I'm going to have to argue that's above the overnight range, but it is. You see what I mean? It's so marginal. And what is the overnight range here? Is it from up here? Is it from here? It's really going to be a difficult call today, in my mind. So that's my second position today, stopped out at break even. If you sit there in your homes and you're thinking, why don't I take some profit? I'm I am of the opinion that there is good money to be made today if you can catch those runners, but those runners are not going to be easy to catch. You already have a piano pattern unfolding in the United Kingdom index called the FTSE 100. You could to some extent argue that the same is taking place in the DAX, but the DAX perhaps has a different profile. There's it's a heavy manufacturing industry index, and I think the tariffs are perhaps hitting this economy harder than the UK economy. You also see that in the percentage that the indices are down. Don't be fooled by that. It says that this is up. This is based from around not where it closed last night. So right now the DAX is down 1.92% and the FTSE is down 1.3%. I will hold my hand high. I'll hold my hand up and say, I don't know if I should trade the FTSE. I don't know whether I should trade the DAX in a conventional school run breakout manner, or I should trade it as an anti. Meaning I don't know whether to be a buyer on a breakout here or sell short, because I find it impossible to define what is the range. I have a gap over here, and then I have another gap here, and then I have yet another gap here, and I don't know whether to include yesterday, when there's definitely I need to be shorter here. So I'll be completely transparent that I have doubts, and when I have doubt, I know it rhymes and it sounds a little bit like a cliche. When I'm in doubt, I would rather stay out, because I need to be able to justify what it is that I'm doing. It's either that or I just take a chance, but then I reduce my stake size significantly. Okay, so it's getting interesting in the FTSE again for an opportunity down here. So I want to be a buyer below 89.7. So just keep an eye on that. $89.8, a long position, but in smaller size. So basically just trying to anticipate that this is a trading range, a piano pattern, and that it eventually is just gonna be in a trading range. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, 8489.8. Currently stop loss at 8464.80. So far the DAX is not creating momentum to be is not creating momentum above the overnight range, but there is a trade idea forming in my head, which would be centered around either on a 5-minute chart or a 10-minute chart being a buyer below prior bar low. Just keeping an eye on the FTSE here. So this is my third trade for the morning. My goal here again is to move the stop loss up. I don't particularly want to have a 20-point stop loss. So what I will do is I'll move my stop loss down to 84. Call that 84. Yeah. So I hope that it made sense, the argument that I put forth here, that this is a piano pattern. I don't know if you know my my friend and trading colleague Andy. We refer to him as Karaoke Andy on account of that he's a prolific singer in his spare time, and a good one as well, actually. He coined this expression that this looks like a piano. Well, a piano pattern is indicative of a trading range, and in a trading range, you sell short the completion of a positive bar, and you buy the completion of a negative bar. That's how you trade a piano pattern. It goes very, it's very counterintuitive, but so far as you can see, this is my second FTSE trade, and well, this is my second trade that is actually significantly in profit, and I'm able to move my stop loss to break even, which I'm doing now. Stop loss to break even. Excuse me. Am I tempted to take some profit? Not really. As long as I can get my stop losses to break even, I'm okay. And I'm just gonna let this unfold. It feels like the DAX is also just wondering, okay, what do we do now? Are we headed back down to the lows, or is support coming in? FTSE currently 13 points in profit. But remember, I traded the FTSE in half size. I hope that this running commentary is making sense to you. See how the bars have gone from huge expansion to all tight contraction now. Everybody's just waiting on, right, what's going to happen now? Are we headed back down 200 points, down to 21,800? Or are we going to attempt a breakout? And as you can see on the 30-minute chart, this is also a piano pattern with a much bigger trading range. The only surprise that could occur here is that if on a smaller time frame, you get people stepping up and being buyers down here below 21,996. Yeah, we just went 21,996. So we just did a micro double bottom. My FTSE position is still okay. I'm not adding at this time. So notice the price action again, how buyers did come in and support the 22,000 area. My FTSE position is just trying to make its way up to 85.10. So that was a very clinical entry in the FTSE, both of them, but also in the DAX. I have a feeling that I won't be able to get a DAX trade on board today. I will close half my FTSE position here. I've closed half my FTSE position. I decided I do want some points in the account. See, the fact that we went down and we did a micro double bottom on a smaller time frame, way above the high, very high up in the upper quarter of that 10-minute bar, suggests to me that we will get a breakout attempt. Now, for laughs, what I could do is to trade that in 0.5, just for illustration purposes. Yeah, just so, not because I want to necessarily make money from it, but just to illustrate that when you do have a micro double bottom and that takes place in the upper quartile of a big push higher, you will almost inevitably get an attempt at a breakout. I didn't do this trade because I see my consideration here is where's my stop loss, and right now I'm operating with a 15-minute time frame that has a, do you see, if you read this box down here, do you see this box here? It has a high of 22,054 and a low of 21,798. That's a staggering 256 point range. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to put a stop loss down below. I'm not going to risk 256 points today on a DAX position, because in order just to create a remotely realistic profit target, that would mean that I would anticipate that the DAX went up to 22,300. Do I think that the DAX is on its way up to 22,300? Not really. So I need to balance that risk. I can do that with a smaller stake size, having a stop loss, attempt to create a stop loss somewhere down here. What did I just do? Did I just close the position? Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. I think I just inadvertently closed the position because I have a sticky mouse. I must either buy a new mouse or oh look, it's a magic mouse. It closes positions that are about to turn negative. Let me just see the transaction history. Well, I don't know what happened, but there you go. That was a bit weird. Excuse me. There's a FTSE still at break even. So we got that attempt of a breakout, but it failed again. Doesn't mean that they can't attempt again in a little while, but I'm just being extremely cautious on a day like today. I think on my software, you can sort of automatically, I think somehow I clicked that closes the position. And miraculously, it actually saved me from the position going into negative. Don't ask me how I did that. That was not intentional. It was pure fluke. To see how the FTSE came all the way up. I had hoped that it would actually close with its body up here, but it didn't happen. But that was the reason why I took half profit. My stop loss is at a break even, so I can't lose on this position. And the DAX is back down to testing the 22,000 area. That's so that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I conduct my business. I tend to sit and talk to myself. And I think talking to yourself is okay as long as you don't answer. Because then, then you really are borderline insane. And I also think that this job is for the people who are slightly insane. You have to be kind of nuts to do this every day. But it's a nice job. I enjoy being a trader. I identify with that persona, that that self-driven individual who doesn't mind spending hour after hour trying to uncover behavioral traits in themselves that stands between them and making a living from trading, and roaming through endless reams of data, A4 stacks full of charts, trying to uncover a pattern that they like to trade. I think that's the combination that you need to be a trader. I had a couple of trades before the market opened. I attempted to be an early buyer in the DAX. It didn't work out. So you can see it was a bit hit and miss before the market opened for me. And there's my magic mouse flick here in the DAX that saved me. And I've taken a bit of profit in the FTSE. But overall, I'm not actually. With my early trades that you didn't see, I started the account at 23,362. I have been trading, you could probably hear it on my voice. I've been trading during the night. It was very challenging, I admit. But as you can see, I'm not actually personally up on this account. I could close my FTSE position and then that would make me profitable within the context of trading live with you. But for myself, no, I lost £144. Then I made 44. Then I lost 20. And I made 12. So I was down a bit before I started trading with you. And here's my open positions. My swing trading in the sterling dollar is currently doing really well. I have an average entry price at 128.05. I bought the first at 126. It's currently at 131. And then again at 128. And then 129. So it's doing really well. Someone asked me yesterday, what are my funding charges? I get funded approximately a little less than a pip per day on the position. That's quite a reasonable charge, what we call the overnight funding. You'll find that most brokers will be around charging you about 1 pip of your position size. So in my case, 1 pip per, I'm doing 50 pence here. My account hasn't really moved much in April yet. I haven't been as active since my hospital appointment on Wednesday last week, or was it Thursday? Whatever it was. Camille is asking me, does TD charge free X swaps on Wednesday as most brokers do? No. Sotus is saying, when you have time, can you say about your software, how can I find and install it? Okay. So the software that I use is this one here. So there you go, Sotus. You're welcome. Florian is saying you adjusted the price scale and accidentally clicked on the X. Ah, is that what I did, Florian? Oh. Well, it actually worked out to my favor. So Florian just did a little recording. He said, I tried to adjust the... yes, that's what I did. Excuse me. I'm sounding a bit rough today, like this. I've been out partying all night. I really haven't. And so I think it's time for me to take some profit in the FTSE. Actually, I'm just going to close half and see if I will get a runner. So I'm closing half my FTSE here at 8,515 or so. Okay. And that's just reflecting that we are at the top end of the range. So that has now adjusted on my account. I made another £45. So far, that FTSE trade is doing quite well. And I'm leaving a little bit on the table. So De Laurentiis is saying, hi Tom, the FTSE is in a rising wedge pattern at the moment on a 5-minute. Would you trade the breakout? You know, De Laurentiis, I actually don't subscribe to the use of these wedge patterns. I'm very much more aligned with trading price patterns. I see the wedge, but my trading style has gravitated towards a different approach. Essentially, I trade, the market is trending and I want to be on board, and the way I do that is to buy breakouts or buy below prior bar low. And if it's in a trading range, well, then I look for the piano pattern. That's a point. Martin is saying, will I do a video with the next swing trade in GDP USD? Well, Martin, let me show you what I'm thinking in sterling dollar. And I need to show you on first a daily chart and then a weekly chart. Let's actually start with a weekly chart and let's get rid of my lines. here's what I can probably even do a monthly. Here's a monthly chart, Martin, and I hope that you're watching in, Martin N. What I what I thought about sterling dollar was that we had a significant deterioration in 2021 to 2022, and we had some boundary testing that cleared out and created a lot of fear. I think there was a budgetary consideration out of the United Kingdom that was ill-fated and ill-received by the financial markets, but we very quickly reverted into the top of the range, into the trading range again. Let me tell you a somewhat of a funny story. My brother, he has worked for an American multinational for all his life, and he obviously he worked out of Denmark, and he was in charge of accounts, and he said we always used sterling dollar at a mean rate of 155. So if you look at the historical relationship of sterling to the US dollar, he argued that, or their company argued that about 155 was about the mean rate of sterling dollar. Okay, so whether you agree with that, but that's what they used, 155. So no matter what, they always just priced it at 155. I took this pragmatic view that once we had this test over here, and that market was tested on this low here, there was the next bar that I was interested in. But you need to see it on a weekly chart to really understand why I decided to do what I did, because this is a technique that's called the fishing technique. So if I take a screenshot of this, because then it allows me to draw on it. I know I've learned to draw as well. But I think what I'm about to show Martin, and in effect show all of you, will be something that will be with you for your entire trading career and speculation career. I have used this approach with, God, I hate to brag, but I have made a significant life-changing amount of money with the technique that I'm about to show you, using a higher time frame than you do as a day trader. And the technique is called the fishing technique. And it's a technique that I invented, but hey, I'll be the first to say, you know what, this has always been there. And so maybe someone called it something different. Here's an old low on a weekly chart. And that low is clearly being taken out down here. No, like my old friend from Inner Circle Trader, Michael, he would say, man, I think he does have a valid point. I may not necessarily subscribe to the the idea or the concept that there's an algorithm controlling the market, but we can still be friends in spite of differing beliefs. It's a bit like, well, I believe in Christianity, and well, I believe in Allah or Buddha or whatever it be, but we're still human beings. So let's not divide. Let's not create a division just because we have different views on the market. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want love and security and a voice. Okay, sorry, I got a little bit philosophical here because I see people trying to create a rift between myself and inner circle trader, and that is not at all what I want. If 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 the ideas of, say, the inner circle trader resonates with people, then pursue it. I am perhaps more aligned with the, shall we say, the idea that is proposed by Al Brooks, that I think he has so elegantly put forth in his books, which is what I call price action. And the irony is that, inner circle trader is also price action. It's just perhaps with a different slant. Anyway, I've given inner circle trader much too much attention here. That was not at all the intention, but it was just to, extend an olive branch to say I have no desire to create they do it that way, we must hate them because they're not doing it our way. And I think that the idea that there is liquidity down below an old low, well, ladies and gentlemen, that story is as old as time itself. Where the fishing technique comes in from my point of view is that if you clear an old low, and especially on a long time frame, and the market then trades back into the range, I use a tool that says that the lowest bar that I can observe, and that's this bar here, if we close above that, as we do here, that's a buy signal. To me, right there is a buy signal. Now, I would not necessarily trade that on a monthly chart as a trader, but I would as an investor, which means that I will have converted significant amount of sums into taking advantage of this deterioration of the US dollar, meaning that I'm actively speculating against the US dollar using other currencies such as sterling. And so and this is the fishing technique unfolding. So once I see that close above this high here, that means, okay, I need to find a place to buy. Now, if this was a 5-minute chart on a FTSE, I would just buy immediately. But because it's a weekly chart, you have a whole lot more time. And the idea of the fishing technique is that, where did you come from? Well, we came from up here. And if this pattern unfolds, then that is where we will travel to. That means, Martin, I anticipate that the sterling dollar will have a go at 134. But then looking a little bit ahead, you're thinking, well, if it can go up there, perhaps it will have a crack at 140. But my immediate target is 134, thereabouts. Okay, just want to take the rest of my profit in the FTSE. That makes it a really profitable morning after all. And I hope that this explained it to you, and I'm particularly addressing the gentleman called Martin N. I won't say your surname. I'll just say Martin N. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've been streaming for about an hour, and I hope that this lesson was of use to you, live trading and all. I hope my read on the DAX resonated with you, and why I did what I did in the FTSE. So transaction, we had a couple of DAX trades and a FTSE trade that didn't work out, and then we had a good FTSE trade that I did trade in smaller size, but it still ended up making a decent chunk of money. Okay. Someone just said to me, and that's really sweet, Tom, you're so good at MS Paint. I think we can all agree that me controlling MS Paint is a hallmark of a dinosaur. Yeah? me doing everything in me doing everything in paint makes me a dinosaur. But there you go. I'll own it. I enjoyed being here with you this morning. I wasn't quite sure how this was going to unfold. I'm tired because I've traded much of the night, and it's been one of those nights where I partially sat at my desk, partially lying in bed in between positions, and then position alerts going off. So, but there you go. That's how it happens at times. Have a lovely rest of your morning. I'm signing out here with a modest profit in the FTSE, but a profit nevertheless. We will no doubt see each other for the US session in some hours from now. And yeah, it was lovely to be here with you. Thanks a lot. You take care of yourself. Bye for now.